You can die in your sleep. 10 quiet nighttime habits that can lead to death after age 70. Did you know that you may be cultivating habits before bed that silently put your life at risk? What if, by lying peacefully in your bed, you were unconsciously giving way to a heart attack, a stroke, or even a respiratory arrest? Isn't what seems harmless in your nightly routine actually sabotaging your health? These questions may seem alarming, but they are extremely necessary. Especially after the age of 70, the body undergoes changes that make certain nighttime behaviors truly dangerous. Do you wake up tired even after a full night's sleep? Do you feel dizzy when you get out of bed? Have you ever noticed changes in memory, difficulty breathing at night, or sleep with the television on? These signs can be more than just discomfort. In this video, we'll reveal the 10 quiet habits that dramatically increase the risk of death during sleep in older adults. Let's get started. 1. The device you leave next to your bed may be poisoning your heart and brain. Sleeping with your cell phone next to your bed has become an almost universal habit. Many people use the device as an alarm clock, to listen to relaxing music, or even as company in the early hours. But what few know is that this seemingly innocent practice can bring serious health risks, especially after the age of 70. The first danger is constant exposure to the blue light emitted by the cell phone screen. Even if the screen is off, notifications, calls, and flashing lights during the night can interfere with the natural sleep cycle, known as the circadian rhythm. Blue light inhibits the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for inducing deep sleep. Without this deep rest, the body cannot regenerate properly, increasing the risks of cardiovascular disease, cognitive changes, and even dementia. In addition, there is a growing warning about continuous exposure to electromagnetic waves emitted by cell phones, even when they are in standby mode. Some studies suggest that the accumulation of this exposure over time may impact the functioning of the nervous system and increase oxidative stress in brain cells. Although there is still no absolute scientific consensus on the long-term effects, the potential risks warrant caution, especially in the elderly, who have greater sensitivity to environmental stimuli. Another point of concern is the indirect risk of insomnia and anxiety. Having your cell phone within reach encourages the temptation to check messages, social networks, or news during the night. This hyperconnection fragments sleep, increases brain arousal, and hinders nighttime recovery, which can, over time, cause exhaustion, irritability, and even depression. To reduce these risks, experts recommend that the cell phone be left away from the bed, preferably outside the bedroom or in airplane mode. The ideal is to keep the sleep environment free of electronic stimuli. Using a traditional alarm clock and creating a screen-free routine before bed are simple but powerful attitudes. Protecting sleep is protecting the mind and heart. And in the next habit, we're going to reveal an even more dangerous mistake, which can literally make you pass out in the middle of the night. 2. The seemingly harmless mistake that can make you faint or fall in the middle of the night. Getting out of bed in the middle of the night seems simple, but for those over 70 years old, it can become a real minefield for health. Have you ever felt dizzy, darkened vision, or a slight imbalance when you get out of bed? These signs may be a consequence of a problem known as postural hypertension. It is a sudden drop in blood pressure when changing positions quickly, especially when moving from lying down to standing. The body takes a few seconds to adapt, and in this interval there can be a lack of blood in the brain, causing dizziness, fainting, and, in many cases, serious falls. Studies show that nocturnal falls are among the main causes of fractures in the elderly, with hip fractures being the most common and also the most dangerous. A simple fall can result in long hospitalizations, loss of mobility, dependence, and, in more serious cases, even lead to death. The risk increases even more when the environment is dark, the floor slippery, or if the person is dehydrated. Often, the use of blood pressure or sleep medications can also contribute to this imbalance. And the most worrying, a good part of these falls could be avoided with small changes in behavior. Standing up slowly is the first essential attitude. When you wake up, sit up in bed and wait a few seconds before getting up completely. This time is enough for blood pressure to stabilize and blood to circulate properly to the brain. Another important measure is to keep a soft night light in the bedroom or on the way to the bathroom. Avoid totally dark environments, as this further compromises balance. Using non-slip shoes and fixed mats also helps prevent slipping. And never underestimate hydration. Taking small sips of water throughout the day keeps circulation working well. Avoiding this dangerous habit not only protects against falls, but also ensures more peaceful and safer nights. 3. The harmless remedy that may be ruining your health during sleep. Taking a pill before bed has become routine for many elderly people, whether to combat insomnia, relieve pain, or control blood pressure. The nighttime use of medications seems a safe and even necessary practice. But do you really know what is happening to your body while sleeping under the effect of these drugs? The big problem is that some common medications, especially the so-called sedatives or tranquilizers, can affect vital functions during sleep, such as breathing and blood circulation. Drugs such as diazepam, clonazepam, and others of the benzodiazepine class act directly on the central nervous system, reducing brain activity to induce sleep. However, this same action can reduce the respiratory rate, cause apnea, and increase the risk of nocturnal respiratory arrests, especially in those who already suffer from heart or lung problems. In addition, these medications increase drowsiness the next day, cause mental confusion, and reduce reflexes. The result? Greater risk of falls when waking up, loss of autonomy, and even the onset of dementia. Another group of worrisome medications are antihypertensives taken at night. In some cases, they can cause a sharp drop in blood pressure during sleep, reducing blood flow to the brain and heart. This imbalance can lead to silent ischemia, arrhythmias, and, in extreme cases, stroke or heart attack while the person sleeps. There are also anti-inflammatories taken to relieve joint pain before bedtime. The continuous use of substances such as ibuprofen or diclofenac can overload the kidneys and liver, affecting the elimination of toxins and impairing the body's balance. To reduce these risks, the first step is to never take medicine on your own. Talk to your doctor about the real need for each medication and if there are safer alternatives for the night. In many cases, adjusting the time or dose can make all the difference. Additionally, natural techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or calming teas can help you sleep without compromising your health. And in the next habit, you'll discover how something as simple as holding your pee can be silently harming your kidneys. 4. Holding your pee at night may be damaging your kidneys without you realizing it. How many times have you woken up during the night wanting to go to the bathroom, but preferred to hold on so you don't get out of bed? This behavior, common to many people, may seem harmless, but after the age of 70, ignoring the urge to urinate at night can cause serious damage to your health. As we age, the functioning of the kidneys becomes more sensitive. They continue to filter blood throughout the night, but the bladder's ability to store urine decreases. When we hold the pee for a long time, we increase the pressure inside the bladder, which can lead to the reflux of urine towards the kidneys, favoring urinary infections and, in more severe cases, kidney failure. In addition, this accumulation can cause bladder irritations, leading to inflammation, a feeling of pain when urinating, and increased urgency during the day. What's more, retaining urine frequently can also affect sleep. The discomfort causes the body to remain in a state of alert, making it difficult to enter the deep stages of sleep, which are the most restorative. Disrupted sleep, in turn, is directly linked to disorders such as depression, memory loss, hormonal imbalances, and increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Many elderly people avoid getting up to urinate for fear of falls, especially if the environment is dark or if there is already a history of accidents. Therefore, it is essential to adopt simple safety measures, such as keeping a nightlight on, installing grab bars near the bed or bathroom, and wearing non-slip slippers. Another important tip is to avoid consuming liquids in the 2 hours before sleep. During the day, it is essential to stay well hydrated, but at night, it is necessary to balance this consumption so as not to overload the bladder. If you experience a frequent need to urinate at night, it's worth talking to your doctor. There may be some condition behind this symptom, such as prostatic hyperplasia, urinary tract infection, or hormonal changes. Avoiding this simple habit can protect your kidneys, improve your sleep quality, and most importantly, preserve your autonomy. And now, get ready to find out how the temperature of your bedroom may be sabotaging your heart while you sleep. 5. The wrong temperature in the bedroom can silently sabotage your heart. On cold days, it's common to want a warm and cozy room to sleep in. Heavy blankets, closed windows, heaters on. Everything seems ideal for a good night's sleep. But is sleeping in an environment that is too hot really safe, especially after the age of 70? The answer may be surprising. During sleep, the body naturally lowers its internal temperature to reach the deeper, more restorative stages of rest. This cooling is essential for the proper functioning of metabolism, for cell repair, and for memory consolidation. When the room is too hot, this process of thermal regulation is interrupted. The body has to work harder to try to dissipate heat, and this extra effort puts the heart on alert. Studies show that very hot environments at night can increase heart rate and raise blood pressure. This combination is especially dangerous for the elderly, who are already more prone to cardiovascular diseases. In addition, excessive heat can cause nighttime dehydration. When sweating during sleep, the body loses important fluids and the blood tends to become more viscous. This thickening of the blood increases the risk of thrombosis, stroke, and silent heart attacks during the night. Another little noticed problem is that a stuffy room reduces the quality of the AR.com little circulation. The environment is more loaded with carbon dioxide and other pollutants, which can make it difficult to breathe, especially in those who have lung problems such as COPD or asthma. To protect health, the ideal is to keep the room at a temperature between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius. Avoid blankets that are too heavy and bedding that retain excess heat. Prefer lightweight and breathable fabrics, such as cotton. If possible, use fans or humidifiers to keep the air circulating. Leaving a window crack open also helps to balance the temperature and improve air quality. Sleeping in a well-ventilated environment at the ideal temperature is more than comfort. It's a vital protective measure for your heart and brain. And now, get ready. In the next habit, let's talk about a seemingly innocent dinner that may be paving the way for a silent heart attack. 6. The supper of death. What you eat before bed can be a trigger for heart attacks, a tasty meal at the end of the day. Seems like the perfect end to a good night's sleep. But is that hearty dinner or that bedtime snack helping or hurting your heart? For those who are over 70, this habit can be much more dangerous than if, imagine a calm, advancing age, metabolism slows down and digestion becomes slower. In addition, the cardiovascular system becomes more sensitive to overloads, especially at night, when the body should be resting and recovering. Eating heavy foods before bed, such as pasta, fried foods, fatty meats, or sweets, forces your body to continue working while you sleep. The stomach needs to digest, the liver needs to process, and the pancreas has to deal with rising blood sugar. Meanwhile, the heart, which should be resting, is forced to pump more blood to the digestive system. This extra effort can generate blood pressure spikes, arrhythmias, and even silent heart attacks during sleep. In addition, evening meals high in fat and refined carbohydrates increase the risk of gastroesophageal reflux. When a person lies down right after eating, stomach acid can back up the esophagus, causing burning, coughing, and, in more severe cases, respiratory problems such as aspiration pneumonia. This reflux is also related to episodes of sleep apnea, a disorder that affects breathing and further overloads the heart. Fortunately, a few simple changes can drastically reduce these risks. Avoid eating in the 3 hours before sleep. Give preference to light meals with vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins such as grilled chicken or fish. Easily digestible foods help the body enter a resting state more easily. If hunger strikes before bed, opt for a light snack. A fruit, a natural yogurt, or a handful of nuts are good options. Calm these choices, you protect your digestive system, allow your heart to rest, and ensure a more peaceful night's sleep. 7. The light that doesn't let you sleep and increases the risk of serious diseases. Many people have the habit of leaving a light on in the bedroom at night. Whether it's out of fear of the dark, convenience when getting up, or simply out of habit, this practice seems harmless. But science shows that sleeping with any kind of light can directly interfere with your health, especially after the age of 70. During the night, the brain needs total darkness to produce melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep and signals to the body that it's time to rest. The presence of light, even dim, deceives the body and reduces the production of this vital substance. Without adequate melatonin levels, sleep becomes shallow, fragmented, and less restorative. This imbalance affects not only rest, but also the functioning of the entire body. Studies show that exposure to light during sleep can increase the risk of hypertension, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even some cancers. In the elderly, deprivation of complete darkness is associated with a higher risk of neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Another worrying effect is on the immune system. Without deep and uninterrupted sleep, the body's defense cells do not renew themselves properly, which makes the body more vulnerable to infections and inflammation. In addition, continuous exposure to light during sleep affects mood, memory, and the ability to concentrate the next day. But it's not just bright light that hurts. Those bluish lights from electronic devices, such as televisions, digital watches, or LED chargers, also harm the sleeping brain. Therefore, it is essential to make the bedroom a dark and quiet environment, favoring quality rest. The tip is simple. Turn off all the lights before bed. If you feel the need, use a nightlight with an amber hue, which interferes less with melatonin production. Blackout curtains also help block outside glare. Sleeping in the dark is more than comfort. It's an essential preventative measure to protect your mind, your heart, and your longevity. And in the next habit, you'll understand how the position you sleep in can silently increase your risk of stroke. 8. The wrong sleeping position that can trigger a stroke while you rest. Sleeping seems to be the safest time of the day. But for those over 70, even the position in which they lie can pose a risk to their health, and even to their lives. Have you ever stopped to think about whether the way you sleep is helping or harming your body? Many people maintain the same sleeping position for years, without imagining that it may be affecting blood circulation and oxygenation of the brain. Sleeping on your back, for example, can be especially dangerous for seniors who have sleep apnea, high blood pressure, or heart problems. In this position, the tongue and throat tissues can partially obstruct the airway, reducing airflow and lowering blood oxygen levels. The consequence is that the heart and brain start to work under pressure, which increases the risk of arrhythmias, heart attacks, and strokes during sleep. Even those who sleep on their sides should be aware. Always sleeping on the right side can make venous return difficult. That is, the blood has more difficulty returning to the heart. This extra effort can overload the cardiovascular system and favor fluid retention, especially in the legs and feet. The position most recommended by experts is to sleep on the left side. In this posture, the heart works with less effort, The blood circulates more fluidly, and the digestive system is also benefited, reducing the risk of reflux and heartburn. In addition, this position improves brain oxygenation, reducing the chances of ischemic events such as stroke. To adapt to this new way of sleeping, some strategies can help. Use a pillow between your knees to align your spine and prevent back pain. Place another pillow behind your back to prevent you from turning over during the night, and, if you feel reflux, slightly elevate the head of the bed. Changing the position you sleep in may seem like a small detail, but it can make a huge difference to your cardiovascular and brain health. And in the next habit, let's talk about a habit that many believe to be healthy: drinking water at night, and how it can turn into a silent trap. 9. The healthy habit of drinking water at night that can lead to dangerous falls. Drinking water is critical to health. Everyone has heard that we should stay hydrated throughout the day, especially as we age. But did you know that drinking too much water before bed can, paradoxically, put your life at risk? It seems contradictory, but science explains. As we age, the kidneys continue to function through the night, but the bladder's ability to store urine decreases. This means that when ingesting large amounts of fluids before bed, the body will inevitably need to eliminate this excess during the night. And that's where the danger lies. By getting up several times at night to urinate, the elderly expose themselves to high risks of dizziness, loss of balance, and falls, especially if it's dark, with the body still sleepy and blood pressure naturally lower. This type of fall is one of the main causes of fractures, hospitalizations, and serious complications in people over the age of 70. In addition, fragmented sleep due to constant trips to the bathroom compromises nighttime recovery, affecting memory, mood, and increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's. Another worrying factor is that, by forcing the heart and blood vessels to deal with an extra volume of fluid in the body during rest, there is an increase in blood pressure and greater cardiac effort. For those who already have heart failure or hypertension, this overload can trigger crises and cardiovascular events. The good news is that small changes in routine can avoid this problem. During the day, drink plenty of water to ensure balanced hydration, but at night, gradually reduce your fluid consumption, especially in the 2 hours before bedtime. Also, avoid diuretic drinks during this period, such as coffee, black tea, green tea, or industrialized juices. If you feel thirsty before going to bed, take only small sips of water. Also, keep the path to the bathroom bright and safe with fixed mats and support near the bed. Sleeping well is key, and avoiding this seemingly harmless habit can mean quieter and safer nights. 10. The sign you ignore every night can be a death alert: snoring, insomnia, and stops in breathing. Snoring at night is seen by many as something natural, especially as the years go by. But this sound, which is often a joke among couples, can hide a serious and silent disorder: sleep apnea. And the most alarming thing is that, after the age of 70, this problem becomes even more dangerous. Sleep apnea occurs when breathing is interrupted several times during the night, even for seconds. Each stop reduces the level of oxygen in the blood, forcing the heart to work more intensely. This constant stress during sleep can lead to increased blood pressure, arrhythmias, heart attacks, and even strokes. And the scariest thing? Most people who suffer from apnea don't even know it. Generally, it is the partner who notices that the person snores loudly, pauses in breathing, and sometimes wakes up choking or feeling suffocated. In addition to apnea, another dangerous sign is persistent insomnia. Having difficulty falling asleep or waking up several times during the night can be a warning that something is wrong in the body. Lack of deep sleep is directly linked to cognitive decline, memory loss, depression, hormonal imbalances, and increased heart disease. And it doesn't stop there. Poor sleep also affects the immune system, reducing the body's ability to defend against infections and inflammation. If you snore frequently, wake up tired, or experience excessive sleepiness during the day, it is essential to seek medical help. Performing a sleep test, such as polysomnography, can identify breathing disorders and guide the best treatment. In many cases, the use of devices such as CPAP, which keeps the airway open at night, can save lives. Other measures include maintaining a healthy weight, avoiding sleeping on your back, not consuming alcohol or sedatives before bed, and creating a dark and quiet environment in the bedroom. Sleeping well is not a luxury. It is a vital need for physical and mental health. And now that you know the 10 nighttime habits that put your life at risk, it's time to understand how changing your routine can transform your future. Now that you know the 10 silent habits that can put your life at risk while you sleep, it's time to seriously reflect. What is worth more, the convenience of an automatic routine or the real chance to live healthier and safer? Sleep is a sacred time of physical and mental repair. It is during the night that the body regenerates, the heart slows down, and the brain organizes everything that has been experienced. But this natural process only happens effectively when we give the body the right conditions to rest. The truth is that there is no magic formula. What exists are daily choices, small changes that, added together, generate great transformations. Swap a heavy snack for a light meal. Turn off the light before going to bed. Leave your cell phone out of the bedroom. All of this may seem small, but it has a direct impact on your longevity. And most importantly, you are not alone in this journey. Consulting a doctor, talking to family members, adapting the home environment, all this is part of the process of taking care of yourself. Prevention is an act of love for you and for those who love you. No one just wants to live longer. We all want to live with quality, with autonomy, with lucidity and energy. And the quality of your sleep is one of the fundamental pillars for this. Don't ignore the signals your body gives. If something is wrong during the night, it is because something needs to change during the day. Take care of your heart, your breathing, your mind. Take care of your routine before bed. Turn your bedroom into a temple of rest, not a silent battlefield. Remember, a good night's sleep today can be the decisive step for many years of life tomorrow. You deserve to age healthily, with dignity and with tranquility. And it all begins with how you sleep.